Hello, I'm Shelley and I'm going to help you go through a cleanse with Emily during the 7-day boot camp and cleanse at Shanti Yoga. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I am a registered dietitian. I graduated from Mount St. Vincent University in 2010, and I currently work at Simply for Life in the Lower Sackville location. I'm actually a student as well, and I'm taking a full-time master's degree in public health, so I'm pretty busy, but I really enjoy what I'm doing. My true passion is really in the kitchen, where I'm glad that you could join me and see my kitchen. What I'm really excited to do is show you how to clean up your diet and how to prep some food and show you some new food. So I'm really excited to get you going on that. So the 7-day cleanse, what we're going to do is we're going to cut out a few foods that can make us feel sluggish, feel tired, and basically put a little bit of stress on our system. So we're going to cut out a few things, so don't freak out. It won't be that hard. We are going to cut out gluten, cutting out dairy, we're going to cut out animal protein, option to have some animal protein in there if you like, and we are also going to cut out caffeine and alcohol. Okay, so those foods are going to put a little bit of stress on our system. So in the cleanse guideline, it goes through all the reasons why we should take a break from those types of foods. So what we're going to go for is have results of increased energy, better digestion, less bloating, improved bowel movement, woohoo, and all that good stuff. So at the 7-day mark, we should be feeling like we have control of any cravings, salty cravings or sugar cravings, and feel like you're at a more level energy. Your energy is more leveled out. So I hope that you're just as excited as myself and Emily, and let's do it. All right, so now that you've had some time to go over the guideline of the cleanse, and you've looked at some of the recipes and the way that the meal plan is set up, it's time to go shopping. So I want you to pick some recipes that speak to you. So ones that really look yummy to you, or maybe ones that are a little outside your comfort zone, something new that you're going to try. You're going to make a list, check it twice, and go to the grocery store and pick up those foods. And now you are coming back into your kitchen, and you have all these bags all over the kitchen, on the counters, on the floor, and this is the critical step. You're not going to put them in the fridge yet. You're going to take them out of their bags, and you're going to prep them for what they're going to be used for. So this is going to be a time saver. It's going to keep you on track, and it's going to make your whole week just run 100% smooth. So there's a few things that you need to get set up. So once you have everything laid out, when you have chosen your recipes, take note on how your foods are going to be prepared. So is your carrot going to be shredded? Is it going to be diced? Is it going to be, I don't know, in strips for a veggie dip with your hummus? So you want to take note about what's going on with all those recipes that you've chosen and the snacks that you want to try throughout the week. And then you can take that food and that whole carrot and transform it into whatever it's going to be used for, and then chuck it in the fridge, so when it's time to get eaten or to be used for cooking, all you do is have to grab it from the fridge. It's going to change your life if you start doing this. So first things first, you're going to need a cutting board. Nice big cutting board. You're going to need a sharp knife. So I always have it's my favorite knife, and I like to sharpen it before I use it. A big bowl to put in the sink, or to clean out your sink really well, and you're going to fill this with water. So you're going to wash everything that you bring home. And there's a few things that really help with prep as well. So I use real whole lemons. So when you are going to use a lemon like this, I like to squeeze a few ahead of time. So 2 or 3 lemons, squeeze it all out. So you might need one of these to get the juice out, or maybe you have another contraption that catches the seeds. So you're going to use this. A garlic press is really good. So you're probably going to use a couple cloves of garlics in the next 2 or 3 days. So we're going to crush them right away. And maybe you want to get a little bit creative with your vegetables. So anything like a carrot, a parsnip, or a zucchini, you can take a julienne peeler and you can even start to peel it like this. And then all of a sudden your salads and your stir fries are a lot more interesting and they have that different texture. So the other thing that I use a lot to really speed up my day is my apple core. I use it probably once or twice a day because I eat a lot of apples. So this is just really handy because I hate cutting the apple and then trying to get the seeds out. So this just, you can just stick it in there, pull it out, and then your apple can be really quickly used for either a green smoothie or apple for your salad or an apple for a snack. Okay, so next we're going to move on to my fridge and see what's in there, and I'm going to show you what I've done already to prep for my week. Alright guys, so now that everything's nice and clean and we've chopped away, I'm going to show you what I've done so far this week in my fridge. Let's take a peek. Okay, so first things first, I want to show you a couple of my favorite time savers. This is the lemon juice that we've already squeezed out. So with our lemon juice, you can take 2 or 3 lemons, and 2 tablespoons is about 1/2 a lemon, and 1 full lemon is about 1/4 cup. So if you have this already made up, that warm lemon water first thing in the morning, perfect. If you have any recipes that need a couple tablespoons of water, you can use this guy. So I really encourage you to start doing this so you don't have to buy the bought-in lemon that has preservatives in it. So we have fresh lemon all the time. Next thing, we have some garlic. So garlic is kind of a pain to chop up and dice. So if you take a couple cloves, maybe 4 or 5 cloves at one time, and just dice it up or put it through your garlic press, it will be ready for when you need to add it to salad dressings. 1 second. All right. So fancy machines are always kind of annoying sometimes. So that's our garlic. So let's move on to the next thing, the time saver. Time saver number 3 is chopped onions. So it's not that big a deal to chop an onion, but when you already have onions chopped up, all you do is have to dump it into your stir fry, your salad, or some sort of sauteed goodness that you're getting going on. So this is 2 onions, so I know if I need 1 onion, I'm just going to pour it halfway through. So find a glass container that you like, and no more tears for you, okay? So let's move on to the next thing. So salads, salad dressings, or salad fixins. So it's always, what happens to me in the past is that I'd go into my fridge and end up cutting, you know, half a pepper, a little bit of broccoli and this and that, and I would end up spending a lot of time chopping. So if you can chop enough salad fixins for a good 2 days, maybe 3 days, they're not going to go bad, they'll stay intact, and all you have to do is take some clean lettuce leaves and then just grab all that goodness and dump it right on your salad. So then it's no time at all. Okay, you can also use this for like a rice stir fry or some sort of sauteed goodness that way too. So really multi-used vegetables here. So go for it. Alrighty, next thing I want to show you is celery. So it's sometimes a pain when you have a whole stalk of celery. So if you can chop off the end and then wash it really well in that big dish of water and then chop it up into pieces, then you can use it. So just store it with some water and it should stay nice and fresh and crispy. So that's the next thing you should try to do. And we have fruit. So as soon as I get my fruit from the store, I've washed my grapes and put them in a clean bag, and I've taken my strawberries and the tops are already cut off. I've washed out the container and put them back in the container. So now they're ready to go, and they don't last they last maybe a day around me or 2. So we're gonna eat them as a snack, throw them in smoothies, or put them on top of salads. Okay. find that's really convenient is with carrots. When you get your carrots, cut off the tops. So the tops are actually going to dry your carrot out. So cut off the tops and give them a good scrub in the water, and then dry them off with a nice clean tea towel, and then you can store them in either loose in the bottom of your crisper or in a bag like this. And then they're ready to go. And if they're organic, you don't need to peel them. But if they're organic, probably. If they're not organic, you probably should. All right. Nuts. So your nuts should be stored, nuts and seeds should be stored in the refrigerator or the freezer. So we have some pumpkin seeds, and then I have a container that I keep all my bulk bar nuts in. So I have some sesame seeds, slivered almonds, and cashews, and all that good stuff there. So let's keep all of the nuts and seeds in the fridge so they don't go bad. So this really keeps their freshness a lot longer. Okay. And my favorite time saver is that head of lettuce that you get. So when you get a head of lettuce at the grocery store, cut off the end and plunge it into a big bowl of water, okay? And really make sure it gets all that grime off. So this is the lettuce I got at the Alderney Market on Saturday, and I've used almost half of it already. So what I do is I plunge it off, and then I take some clean tea towels, dry it off really nicely, try to get the moisture off, and then put a bit of a paper towel underneath and just line the lettuce leaves. And it's Tuesday, and I did this on Saturday, and it's still really fresh and crispy. Okay, so that saves a ton of time. You can do that with any sort of leaf or lettuce or kale or greens or anything like that. Okay, and speaking of the market, if you haven't been there, you should try it out. These are green onions, and it was about 3 or 4 green onions the length of my arm. So, and they were $1.50 for the bunch. I was like, crazy. So I cleaned them all right away, and I again plunge them under water, dry them off really well, and then cut them into just pieces where I can just easily cut them into smaller pieces for stir fries or salads or whatever you want to use them for. Alrighty, only a few things left that I want to show you. And okay, so I want to show you fresh herbs. So fresh herbs are going to add a lot of interest to your dishes, to salads, to salad dressings, and this is my favorite, dill. All right, so dill is back at the farmer's market, so I'm really excited about all the fresh herbs that we can now get in abundance. So this I've taken off. It was a huge bunch. It was really like massive, and it was taking up a lot of space in my fridge. So I just trimmed off the edges, and it was pretty clean when I got it there. And I just cut off the stems and then put it in some paper towel and then inside a plastic bag. So fresh herbs don't like moisture. That will make them go bad quicker. So try to keep them nice and dry, and if they seem dirty, wash them right before you're going to use them, and that will keep them a lot longer in your fridge. So here goes our dill. And then my huge bunch of Swiss chard. So if I hadn't done this, it probably would have started going bad. So big, huge leaves. I've just taken off my Swiss chard. I've taken off the stems. You can see them in the bottom of the bag. And I've washed everything really well. Again, dried it off like my lettuce and put them in a bag. So I'm going to use this probably tonight for supper along with some asparagus. Anyway, let me take a peek and see if there's anything else. Alrighty. Looks pretty good. Other than just everything that's in my crisper, I've already washed my tomatoes and my peppers and even my lemons, so everything's really clean in there. That's pretty much it for my fridge. I hope you've picked up a few things, and I hope you can try to implement some of these time savers in your own kitchen. And yeah, go at it. Alright guys, so now we're going to move into the part where I'm going to show you some foods that may be new to you, or maybe you've been using them for a long time, but we're going to go over these products, and hopefully you'll be more comfortable buying them at the store, using them in the recipes. Alrighty, so first thing I'm going to show you is nutritional yeast. So this is what it looks like. It's little yellow flakes. It's basically yeast that's been deactivated and then dried out and then flaked. So this has a really cheesy smell to it and a cheesy flavor. So a lot of vegans will use this in the recipes to create a cheesy flavor. So you can put it on eggs, you can put it in salad dressings to create almost a Caesar salad dressing taste. The biggest thing nutritionally for what are we talking about? Nutritional yeast is that is high in B12. So it's usually fortified, but it has like, I don't know, 500, like 130% of your B12 intake in like a quarter cup or something like that. So sprinkling this on your salads or whatever is really going to boost B12, and B12 is only obtained through animal products, through meat. So if you're vegan, you're not going to get it through food other than choosing foods that are high in it naturally. So my favorite way, actually maybe it's not my favorite, but I enjoy it by cutting open an avocado. And then in the avocado, I take out the pit and there's a little hole, and I fill the little hole with some salsa and then sprinkle nutritional yeast on top, and I just go right into it and eat it like that, and it's delicious. And the avocado is really filling and you got a little bit of cheesy taste from the nutritional yeast. It's perfect. So that's nutritional yeast. Let's move on to hemp hearts. So these are raw shelled hemp seeds, and they are very soft and nutty, and little seeds. So hemp hearts are really important in vegetarian or vegan or just people who do eat meat as well, their diet, because they're really high in omega-3 fatty acids. So that's the type of fat that helps with your heart health and your eyesight and your brain function, all that good stuff, and it decreases your risk of heart disease. And they're really high in protein. So 3 tablespoons of these bad boys have 10 grams of protein and like 2.3 grams of omega-3 and a ton of other nutrients. So if you take a peek in the Cleanse guidelines, you'll see that they're high in manganese, magnesium, iron, B vitamins, so they're really nutritional powerhouses. So definitely a good thing to add on to salads and stir fries and smoothies, or if you want, just take a handful of them and pop them back. That's good too. So the next thing I want to show you is going to be our chia seeds. So yes, these are the seeds that you find in the chia pet. Chia. And they're awesome. They are basically these little black seeds that you can add on top of cereals, on top of salads, to smoothies if you want. You can incorporate them into baking. And what they do for you, what don't they do for you basically? They are high in antioxidants. They're high in omega-3s, even more so than our hemp hearts, our friendly hemp hearts over there. And they actually, when you put them into water, they start to form a gel. And this gel, right now I'm kind of making one here at paste, so it's really thick right now, but if you put more water in that, it would continue to absorb water, and it turns into this funky little congealy goo. But inside, when that happens inside of our bodies, our intestines love it, and it actually slows the digestion of sugars. So it keeps your blood sugars level. So it keeps people who are struggling with keeping their blood sugars on a regular, like leveled out, it helps these people, and it helps anybody. They're actually high in calcium, so a tablespoon has about 80 milligrams of calcium in it. And what else do they have? That's it for the top of my head. But yeah, on the guideline, it goes over all the good stuff that these little seeds can offer you. So check them out. You can definitely start using them every day, I would recommend. And on to my newest hobby. I love sprouting. So sprouts are like those little alfalfa sprouts you see in the grocery store. You can buy a container for a couple bucks. They're really nutritionally dense. So what's happening is that little seed is starting to sprout, and all of a sudden it becomes a living thing. And just like a baby growing or a plant growing, all of their vitamins, minerals, and enzymes start to come alive. So the antioxidants double, protein doubles, triples, quadruples. They're B vitamins, so they're really nutrient dense. So these guys are like, for a vegan food chain, they're like at the top of the food chain. These sprouts are like kicking butts here. So I'd really recommend that you start using these. You can throw them into sandwiches, into salads, you can throw them in stir fries, you can eat them just as they are. They're delicious. You can get spicy blends. So if there's any radish sprouts or anything in there, they end up being spicy, so they can add lots of flavor to your food. So I just want to show you this. This is a sprouter, and Easy Sprout. So I got this for my birthday. My sister picked it up at Halifax Seed over in Halifax, and you know, it's probably $15 or so, but it's a contraption where what you do to make your own sprouts is that you'll take sprouting seeds and you'll soak them for 6 to 8 hours. So usually do it overnight, and then in the morning, twice a day, you just rinse them under cold water. So this little container is really neat because it drains. So there's two parts. There's an inner part, and this is where so there's an outer part, and then the inner part sits inside. And so when you rinse them, they continue to drain and the water goes through. So the things that you need to be careful about if you do decide to sprout your own sprouts, which is really fabulous if you decide to do that, is that it has nice airflow and that it's draining really nice. So right now, my sprouts, I started these Sunday and it's Tuesday, and they're just starting to pop and get really green. And this is just a really small batch, but if I used more, I could fill this whole container and have sprouts for the whole week. Okay, so really cool. You can go online and look and find different ways of using mason jars or making your own containers without having to buy something like this as well. That's what I was doing before I got this. So on to the next thing. All right. Under the sea, we got sea vegetables going on here. Don't forget about the vegetables growing in the ocean water because they're really good for you. So this is dulse, and sea vegetables are really high in minerals and iodine, and that's going to help metabolize things. And since our diet is so clean and we don't have a lot of processed food, the saltiness on our sea vegetables adds some flavor to things like stir fries, soups, or even broken up into pieces on your salad. Okay, so don't walk past the sea vegetables. Give them a try. There may be a couple different varieties that work better for you, so you just need to test them out and see. And then last but not least, there's two things that you might see on your meal plan that I recommended. These are optional. One is a probiotic. So a probiotic is basically billions of live cells that we digest, and hopefully the probiotic in our intestine starts to flourish. So probiotic is like a healthy bacteria. So lots of times people run into problems if they're taking antibiotics or if they have a really poor diet, that the good bacteria in their intestine starts to decrease, and it's getting either killed by antibiotics or it's just kind of not doing its thing. It's not like a party animal anymore. It's getting too low. So a probiotic can help increase the levels of these bacteria in your intestine, and that can help with constipation, can help with digestion, can help with IBS, even diarrhea. So there's a couple different things that probiotics can help with. So for the cleanse, it's just something that's going to encourage these things. And last but not least, a digestive enzyme. So enzymes are present on raw foods, and so, you know, cabbage and anything raw has some enzymes in it already that helps your body digest food. When we start cooking our food, the enzymes get deactivated. So things like grains and proteins, they take a little bit longer to digest. So this can just help with the process, and because you're going to be boosting the amount of vegetables and fruits that you're eating, sometimes that can cause a little bit of bloating and our bodies aren't quite used to it. So this just helps the process. It's optional, but you can find a digestive enzyme at any grocery store or health food store. So check it out. All right, well that's my spread of nutritional powerhouses, and I hope that you pick up all of them or just a couple of them, whatever is going to work into your diet. And I just wanted to finish off by saying that the 7-day cleanse is going to be really fun and you should be learning a lot. And there's one thing that I don't want you to do, and it's stress. Don't stress over it.